YouTube? It's Will from Will Development, and this is my 229th weekly update. Just going to dive right in. This past week went very well. I was doing essentially 3x3s, and I'm this close to being back to where I was just about a year ago in terms of all my lifts. I would say less than a year ago, around July or August, sometime last year. So it's taken me about 4 months to get back to where I was, to recover from my back strain, borderline injury, I would say injury. It wasn't bad to the point where I couldn't move, but I definitely felt it a lot, and it really impacted my ability to do anything, especially training. But all that being said, you can see it in my video on Wednesday, which is the training from this week, which was my squat, which was 3x315, which is very exciting to be back there. It was exciting to be able to do 2 at 315, so being able to hit 3 made me very happy. I won't be as happy until I can finally hit 315 for 5 again, which was like the best I ever did with 315, and mostly because I didn't see a point to going past 5 on 315 at the time. My ultimate goal is to basically finish out this program squatting at least 365 for 1. I'm going to shoot for 385. That'll put me right back to where I was in August of last year. But if I do 365 and everything's good, I'll be happy there. Pressing went great, other than my bench, which I use as an accessory. It didn't go so hot on Saturday. It also didn't go... It didn't go poorly on Tuesday. I just gassed out, essentially. But the press, I was at 160 for 3, which is a lifetime PR for me. I've never been able to do 160, even a push press for 3. So to do 160 strict-ish, I mean, some of my other ones, I should say previous press PRs, I made really, I was very sure to not bounce them out of the bottom, essentially taking the bar and dead stopping every single one every time. This one, the first 2, I came down and I made sure to go really low. I hit my collarbone essentially and then springed it back up. One could argue that's kind of a bounce, but my body's rigid, so I'm counting it as strict. Strongman, they usually call that strict-ish. So if you want to call it strict-ish, I'm okay with that. Still a good PR, which still puts me right on track to actually hit a single of 175 for a strict press, which... honestly, if I hit that, I'm going to go for over 200 on a push press. Probably on that same day, I go for that. So we'll see how that goes. It's exciting for me because that's like new territory. I've never been that strong in the overhead before. So if that works out, I'll be very excited. And then deadlift was tonight. Honestly, it was awful. Just awful. Pulled 135, to start off with a warm-up. Felt great. Went to 225, felt terrible. The shit just felt heavy. Everything felt wrong. I think part of it was I did a lot of driving today for work and a lot of sitting. Normally, I might sit for like 3 hours a day, maybe 4 at the most. And then the other hours of the day that I'm at work, I'm moving. So it's not that big of a deal. But today I was driving and sitting for probably 6 to 7 hours of the total time I was there. So I think it really just fucked up my body and really made it not ready to go. And point at myself, I'm not blaming anybody, it's my own fault. I should have maybe tried to do some more warm-ups, something just to get my body a little ready. But I think at that point, I just wanted to get in and get done, which I did. I did end up hitting 360 for 3, which is by no means a PR. They weren't 100% where I want them to be, which sounds like a running joke for my deadlifts now. They're not exactly where I want them to be, but the rounding still looked okay. Didn't stay dead nuts rigid, which is what my goal is. But at some point, I kind of just put it to the side. I'm like, you know what, is this acceptable? Is this not acceptable? And these were definitely under the acceptable category. I did end up having to actually put on my 4-inch belt for deadlifts tonight, which normally I stick with my 3-inch belt, but it just felt like I needed just that extra little support. So I went with that. Plus things were feeling a little off, and I was like, you know what, let me switch to the 4-inch. Worst case, just for the extra protection it would give to me, because I didn't feel like backing down, but I also didn't feel like hurting myself. I actually felt better after I did it, but they moved slow. It just wasn't firing right today. Good news is it's a deload week next week, so I'll get to sort of let my body heal up a little more. I'm still going to kind of keep the intensity, and we'll see what I pull for singles. I think last deload I was pulling 365 for singles. It just felt really good that day. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll pull like 380 or something like that for singles. We'll have to wait and see. They're supposed to be, relatively easier, but on that particular day, 365 felt super easy 2 weeks ago, and today 360 felt like holy shit. So it's just where I'm at. It's where we are. Just going to keep pushing, keep aiming to be better. That's the goal. Doing Strongman Saturday tomorrow. And my goal for tomorrow is actually, I'm going to do my bench workout that I always do, but I'm actually just going to add additional pulling work, something like low rows on a cable, or even chin-ups or pull-ups, one of the two. I haven't decided. I just feel like I need to do a little more back work, especially since tonight I was supposed to do deadlifts, then some speed pulls, then some rows, and I ended up just doing the deadlifts and saying, fuck everything. It's just, I'm out of gas. It's just not happening. I went to do a speed pull with just 225, and it was just like, nope, feels heavy, dog's not hunting. So I said, all right, cut my losses. Tomorrow I'll do some accessory work, and I'll just hit my bench like I normally do. If things work out the way I want them to, I'll end up hitting somewhere around 300 for a single. Because the way I do it right now, just to explain to everybody, basically I bench on Tuesdays, which are I treat them as an accessory to my press. But it's usually relatively low volume. Not a lot of sets, somewhere around 4 to 6 sets, and usually it's only like 4 to 6 reps, if that. So the weight's moderate, for me anyway. But on Saturdays, I do a shit ton of volume work. I end up doing usually something like 3 sets of 10, with usually the weight I used for 4 on Tuesday, just to really push myself. Sometimes it's usually a little less. It's usually somewhere around, this week should be around 250. I should be doing 250 or 255 for sets of 10. So tons of volume work on there. And then after I do those, I work up to a heavy single, usually doing pyramiding up. I'll go from 10 to 5 to 3 to 1. And I'll do it that way, and I'll do like usually 2 singles. And for about 3 weeks I worked great, and then I took a week off, and then I came back, and I was back down a bunch. So it's one of those things, you just consistency, and if you're not consistent, you lose it pretty quick, but it comes back pretty quick too. So I'm not concerned about it. Hoping to hit 300 tomorrow on bench. I remember 2 weeks ago I hit 295, and it felt so easy. I probably should have gone for a second one, but I said, you know what, I didn't hurt myself, let's keep it that way. You're not in a comp, you don't have anything to prove, just hold back right now. You don't need to injure your shoulders or anything like that. So I did that. So that's the plan for tomorrow. I also want to hit the dumbbell, the circus dumbbell, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna hit over 100 on it finally. It's been the bane of my existence. I've hit 95 before. I've hit 85 consistently, no problem. But I want to hit that 100 plus. So I'm just gonna go in there. I'm gonna just do a few sets, warm it up after benching. And then I'm just going to jump to like 105 and just fucking do it. I'm tired of dicking around. I'm tired of not having it. I want it. And I need it. I may even do log too. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll keep everybody posted. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. Maybe I'll even get some footage of it. It's hard to film on Saturdays. There's so many people in there, and it's usually really busy, and it's like to stop somebody and be like, hey, can you do this for me? It's, I don't want to bother anybody else's training. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Definitely if I hit it, you will find out on my Instagram, which if you're not following me on Instagram, it's @willdevelopment. And be sure to subscribe so you can check out the weekly videos of the week of, as well as the first of my review series, which I believe was the 3-inch deadlift belt from Elite FTS. That just dropped on Sunday. Yes, because that was the first Sunday of the month. So be sure to check that out. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?